We're a week out from the NFL draft. Landry Locker, Cody Stoots with you. We've heard Nick Caserio. Looks like we're going to hear from D'Amico Ryans and some players next week. I don't know the overall format. We got the email from the Texans. I'm assuming that maybe some of the new guys we're going to hear from. I do not know what it's very broad. It says players in the workroom and D'Amico Ryans. So we heard from Caserio yesterday. We'll hear from them, D'Amico and some of the guys as the draft approaches the week of. But right now we're a week out. There's a lot of uncertainties, but there's also some hints.
If it's similar to last year, it should be CJ Stroud and Will Anderson, and then the new guys. If it's similar to last year, because I believe that's what they did last year. Remember, we waited forever for Diggs, and they wanted him to get in the building and have the guys be around him. And then we finally got Stephon Diggs in this very scary press conference with the Houston Texans media. So maybe we'll get Christian Kirk and CJ Gardner-Johnson. Wouldn't that be great?
I guess. We'll see what he has said. He's in Houston. I mean, I know that. I mean, he's posting videos every day working out. So he's in Houston. He's been at the facility. So
Kamari Lassiter posted another dang workout video.
Yeah, maybe we'll get the CJ Gardner-Johnson thing going. Shout out to everyone in the chat. We're a week out. We're almost there. We're almost there where this stuff can stop. But Nick Caserio spoke yesterday, and we tried to gather all the clues, and we want to use those clues in an extreme manner to do a mock draft based on the Caserio croutons. Now, there's a lot of word salad, but every once in a while you can find some croutons in the salad with Nick Caserio. It's not extra croutons. You can't go to, it's not Olive Garden where you can ask for the extra croutons.
Sir, dressing on the side, please.
Yeah, you can do all that.
Dressing. Yeah.
But you're gonna they're light on croutons.
Yep.
When it comes to Caserio. So we're gonna take those croutons and we're gonna put together a mock draft and try to make some sense of what the hell they're trying to do and get some context clues from Nick Caserio. And Stoots is going to lay out the clues, and then we're going to do the mock draft, and we're going to do so based on Caserio's clues / croutons.
You know, I love a theme for a mock draft. So this one's among the more, it feels like, restrictive themes. If we could figure out all these clues and find all these croutons. Clue number 1, Landry, running backs, plural. Nick Caserio yesterday asked about the position that you and I desperately want them to attack. Let's see if you can find the crouton in here.
Room. We feel like we got, pretty good cohort of players in that group. I mean, Mixon, I think he went to the Pro Bowl last year, so he's a good football player. I mean, DP was one of the top kickoff returners, and when he's played offensively, he's done a pretty good job with his opportunities. Say Dare's his role is kind of specific to the kicking game, so there's an opportunity for us to add a player that we think can help our team. We'll look at it. If we don't, then we'll go with whatever group. And again, like everybody's focused on a draft, but there's other opportunities to add players to your team, which, I mean, we've done that. I would say let's go back to 2023. Like 4 of the starters on the offensive line the first 4 weeks, weren't here until August. So, that was we were forced to do that because of injuries and some other things that took place. So, again, there's not one way to add players to the team. We're always going to look at multiple avenues and try to take advantage of the opportunities and make good decisions, which we've, hopefully shown the ability to do on a yearly basis.
So I guess he's talking about George Fant. He's talking about Juice Scruggs. He's talking about he's
talking about Jordan James, and he's talking about Kendrick Green. Those are the guys he's talking because he traded picks for those guys.
Jacksonville game. Okay.
Yeah, he's trading picks for those guys.
I don't know if that would be. That's not really a hang my hat on moment. I don't mind you bringing up Julian Edelman 20 times a draft process, but hey, let's not bring up the 2023 O line. That's sad, but that is sad state of the offensive line. That's kind of what he hangs his hat on when it comes to the offensive line. Might actually be kind of symbolic.
Also, if you're signing a running back to your team in August, that guy's not very good. And if he wanted to use an example of a running back that they signed, I don't know, in August and ended up being a nice player, Cam Akers was right there, but we know they don't like Cam Akers for whatever reason. They just dumped him for nothing. Here's the thing that stood out to me, though, Landry. He said, we got a pretty good group. Obviously, Joe Mixon. Damian Pierce, first thing that he talked about Damian Pierce was special teams. And then
Kick returner.
when he's given his chance, he's done pretty good. No, not really. He hasn't. And then he basically put Dare Ogunbowale in a special teams box.
Which is wild because he's been their number 2 running back for a long time. So he basically confirmed my frustration and everyone's frustration and everybody that says, why in the hell is this guy getting significant reps on offense? He basically confirmed, despite what D'Amico Ryans may say, despite what the local media, that every time Dare scores a 2-yard touchdown, it's like leading the news. Like, he basically confirmed the large portion of the fan base and the large portion of this community and fans that we talk to and ourselves that Dare Ogunbowale should not be one play away from being on the football field at the running back position. So I think I'm picking up what you're putting out. I think we both kind of assume he might actually want to add 2 running backs. And he should if what he said is actually true. And I actually believe what he said in this one.
I think there's one more piece of evidence for multiple running backs. He mentioned 2 special teams forward conversations about the 3 names that he mentioned. Damian Pierce kickoff, Dare Ogunbowale kicking game. There's 6 running backs on the roster. J.J. Taylor, British Brooks, and Jawar Jordan are on this roster. They didn't even get a mention. So see you later, guys. You can easily be replaced by a 6th, 7th, 5th round pick that the Texans make. So I think running backs on the radar. And I think the running backs, plural, might even be on the radar. So we'll say running backs X2 is one of the things we got to try to get through.
All right. So that's clue number 1 from Nick. That running back is they're going to get a running back, and they might actually get 2. Might not be in the draft. Might get 1 in the draft and then 1 after. But multiple running backs is what they need.
And I can't imagine they're trading for somebody else's running back, though. I guess that's an avenue to add to the team. I just let the draft be important, dude. Potential clue number 2, wide receiver preference. And this comes off of a question that you asked, Nick Caserio.
Guys with similar skill sets that play the same position, having success at the same time, Amendola and Edelman, and then Puka and Cup. You brought in Kirk, who works a lot in the slot. Is it safe to say that someone who primarily worked in the slot in college, like, you're not going to shy away from him just because he did majority of his work in the slot like Christian?
Yeah, good question, Landry. I would say, honestly, when you look at kind of formationing and some of the things that you're able to do from an alignment standpoint, I mean, guys essentially line up all over the place. So even if they're quote-unquote inside the formation players, I mean, everybody's an inside the formation player. When you reduce a split, when you have tight receivers tight their formation, all right, line up players outside the formation. I would say going back to Kirk, at A&M, like, he played inside the formation. But I would say when you look at his career, I mean, he's pretty much played all over the formation. I mean, let's go back to Arizona. I mean, this guy played all over the place. So you need players that maybe have some degree of flexibility. So if a guy can play inside the formation, outside the formation, all right, not everybody can do that, but some can. You can do some things formationally to kind of help the players. There's some players that are better served on the perimeter. Try to keep him on a perimeter. If he's an inside-only player, okay, well, then he's an inside-only player. Like Amendola, I would say, was an inside-only player. I would say Edelman wasn't an inside-only player. Like, Edelman was able to be a multi-purpose player. Plenty of snaps to him on perimeters.
If he's an inside-only player, not to be confused with the combine's the combine and contracts are contracts. Nick Caserio salad right there. But this one kind of expands a couple of possibilities. First of all, I don't think we can eliminate a slot-only guy.
Correct.
Which means there's no wide receivers that we can really eliminate. And I also love how later on in this, he brought up the tight ends. So we have the 2 running backs, at least 1 running back. And then we have the tight end and not excluding any receivers.
Right. I would say based on he kind of just again, he put Amendola in a box, and then Edelman was a little bit more glowing about him. So I do feel like guys that could go inside and outside have a slight advantage versus, well, he really only should play this or he really only should play.
Well, also Edelman was a lot better.
True.
I don't think he would do that with Wes.
That's fair.
I don't think he would do that with Wes.
Austin, Texas, not that far away from Houston, Texas.
Oh, yes. He's I'm a Texas fan since birth. I was thrown right in the onesie by Pops. That's still our bond. I think Nick Caserio might be becoming a Texas fan.
Well, he certainly loved talking about the Longhorns when he was asked about the usefulness of pro days.
Day workout. Everybody kind of uses them a little bit differently. I'd say, from our perspective, it's more kind of some of it's geographic. Okay, we had the opportunity to get down there to Austin, and you can kind of see grouping of players. You're not necessarily going just for one player, but in Texas' case, they got 500 kids that are going to get drafted this year. So it's good to see them all kind of in one spot.
500 kids that are going to get drafted. I don't know about 500, but definitely a handful of offensive linemen, a handful of defensive linemen, and some skill position players as well.
Yeah. So I think we got running backs. We got true slots not eliminated.
Right.
Versatile tight ends.
Yep.
And Texas players. So he might lean towards Texas players. Nick Caserio.
I would put that on there as like if we get to a tiebreaker moment where it's like this player, that player, maybe we go with the Longhorn instead of the other guy. So that was potential clue number 3. Potential clue number 4, position change players. Didn't sound like it was the most ideal thing for Nick Caserio.
Tricky. It's tricky because when you see a player actually do something, you have a better barometer of understanding. If you're projecting it, there's a little bit of trial and error, and you're not really sure how the player is going to respond, whether it's physically or mentally, be able to handle that type of role. So honestly, there's a little bit of risk involved. There's risk in any player. But I think when you see a player, whether it's play multiple positions, then it's a lot easier to say, you know what, we think he might be able to handle a multi-position role, whether it's offensively or defensively. It's, on the offensive line, it's guys, okay, they've just played tackle. Can they move inside? They just played guard. Can they put their hand on the ball and play center? And if they haven't done it, you got to sort of make an extrapolation based on the information that you have.
Extrapolation on the information.
Okay. Big words. By the way, there was one thing I strongly disagreed with Nick Caserio yesterday. Like, it's probably, I'll disagree when I want to, but I disagree strongly with something that he said yesterday. I'll tell you in a sec, but let's finish this.
I would say downgrade position change, guys, just a little bit. So a tackle that's got to go play guard, tackle that's never played guard. I'd say downgrade them a little bit where we're trying to figure out who we're drafting in this mock draft. So.
Okay. So the position, so we have the position change, the running back, maybe running backs. We have dual threat, and we're doing the Nick Caserio mock draft. Shout out to everyone just joining the chat. Hope we see you the 26th at Karbach at 11 a.m. to celebrate the super stream and take in day 3 and react with the peeps. Shout out to HDAV Traveler. Hopefully you'll be there too, my friend.
I know you're from out of town, but man, get on the motorcycle and it should be a nice day and come on down. So,
but I think we have the 2 backs, we have the wide receiver, tight end, willing to move. He loves Texas guys, and the positional change is difficult.
Downgrade positional change, guys.
Downgrade positional change.
When are you telling us what you vehemently disagreed with him on?
I'll tell you right now. What I think it's insane for him to say this. I think it's fake self-deprecation. He's smart enough to be a doctor. Let's be serious. Like, if I say that or you say that, I'm not going to push back. Nick Caserio is the ideal doctor. He gets up at like 5 a.m. He eats the same damn thing every day. He puts in
clean, very clean.
He puts in all types of hours, and he's willing to work all hours of the day. He loves to read. Nick Caserio saying he's not smart enough to be a doctor is the biggest lie that he's ever told at the podium. Ever. That is an absolute lie by Nick Caserio. Nick, you say it's lying season. That's the biggest lie ever. I'm not smart enough to be a doctor. You are the ideal candidate to be a doctor, Nick. So I'm calling you on your lies during draft season, 1 week away from the draft.
Yeah, if he had gone to medical school, he would have been some sort of important surgeon or something like that. So.
Yes, come on.
Actually, I wonder if he'd be better served as like a just kind of like a very stern family practitioner. Where he just he always gives you if I went there, he'd be like, Cody, you're too fat. You've got to lose weight. You've got to drink some more coconut milk.
Well, if that's all it takes, then I could be a doctor.
Well, okay. Clue. You son of a bitch. Birdie Boy's got a super chat. We'll get to that. We'll get to the rest of the clues and then the mock draft here in just a moment. Birdie Boy says, Cody, will you apply the same logic to Tyler Booker from Alabama as you would to Kelvin Banks from Texas by saying it's Booker's fault if he doesn't pan out?
Ooh.
I will not, because there's a significant element of the Booker profile that is a question mark, which is his athleticism. He's one of the least athletic guards in this draft. So that's a significant question that's associated with Booker that is not associated with Banks. So I would not give them a pass. If they draft Booker, other guards are available, and they get it wrong, that's not free pass for them. They screwed it up again.
Salute to Birdie Boy. Salute to everyone in the chat. But we really greatly appreciate that. Like, you have no idea when you bring something up previously and you keep the talking lines going. So much appreciation for everyone in the soup and everyone in the chat. But thank you very much, Birdie Boy. Keep that going, like the Banks theory and everything. Keep us accountable. All that we love the ongoing dialogue. So very much appreciation. And appreciation for Wags, who asked the question: is it easier to shift from guard to guard from offensive tackle or vice versa? Some would probably say from tackle to guard is easier. I think it feels hard as fuck from both perspectives, though.
Yeah, I would tell you a lot of times guys are playing guard because there's some sort of physical deficiency to them that let them play tackle. You got to be sort of like a unique specimen to play tackle at a really high level. You have some sort of incredible athleticism, like physical traits, like long arms, long torsos, yada, 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 all the different stuff that you talk about. I mean, think about Trent Williams, freak athlete, humongous person. Like, think about some of the guys the Texans have run out there at tackle, and it's like, okay, don't have great athleticism or, don't have incredible physical traits. Like, it's just tough to overcome some of those things at tackle. And so a lot of times guys are playing guard because they don't have those things.
Shout out to Wags again, our guy.
Booker's actually a great example. He's got tackle size. He just doesn't have tackle athleticism.
Wags says you have to call out your steals during your mock. Oh yeah, we got you. We'll cover it out. We're going to discuss it just based on the Caserio clues. We're going to pretend that we have to put those clues to practice. The other thing about Banks, and I don't want to kick you in the nuts for your Banks theory.
You already have multiple times. So that's okay.
We've moved past that. It's a new day. It's Friday Junior. It's Thursday. Shout out to everyone. Shout out to the people that got Friday off tomorrow. Shout out to the people that are going to have less traffic on the roads because they have to work on Good Friday. Either way, shout out to you. Now, the thing about Banks, though, like from moving from tackle to guard, is he's mean as hell in the run game. So that's a lot of times, like when a tackle moves to guard, if there is a problem, and I think athletically, I think the tackles are probably a little bit superior. Like if you had a 2-on-2 basketball game between tackles and guards, I think the tackles would win. If you had a relay race, I think the tackles would win. If you had a 2-on-2 soccer match, I think most time the tackles would win. I know there's some guards that probably take exception to that, but I think the natural, like traditional athleticism, I think it kind of leans with the tackles. But a lot of times what tackles that move inside, the ones that struggle probably have a problem with, is they're not as physical, and the run blocking is a little bit different. That's not the case with Banks. Like he run blocks like a mean ass guard.
Good.
So that's probably why people see him more potentially as a guard, and they have there's a lot of questions about athleticism, like we previously mentioned. So I think that's the difference in Banks going inside as opposed to like a Titus Howard or someone like that.
Potential clue number 5 from Nick Caserio: small school kids.
Not a fan.
He's not a fan. He's only ever drafted
No Kyle Williams. He's a small school kid. Sorry, Cody.
Correct. No Kyle Williams. He's only ever drafted one non-Power 4, Power 5 player in his time as general manager. That was Tank Dell, and obviously UH quickly was in the Power 4, Power 5 situation. But hey, success against small schools, downgrade those guys. Success against big schools, maybe you upgrade them a little bit.
Here's the player. Here's what we think he does well. You might have to not downgrade it based on a level of competition, but there's a little bit of difference, what the guy does against LSU versus what he does against, Western Tennessee State or somebody like that, if that's who they're playing every week. So
okay.
You're not going to eliminate a player, but, give him an opportunity. But, not every player can make that jump. So, I mean, it's case by case like a lot of this is, but there's a projection element that's involved. No question about it.
Big school, good. Little school, bad.
Okay. My kind of guy. My kind of guy.
And so lastly, potential clue number 6, Nick Caserio's need conversation.
Ooh, so no need. So we're throwing need in the clues. I like this box of clues.
Well, Nick Caserio, that's not what they do over there.
Never drafted for need around here. I mean, we're never going to. So we're going to pick the best player that we feel fits our program, regardless of the position. I'd say other than quarterback. I mean, I'd say pretty much any position's on the table. So like it always is. So try to stay true to our board. That's the reason we grade the players. So we put the players on the board. We grade them accordingly. We value them accordingly relative to what we think the role is going to be. And then we take them off the board as we see fit. So, I mean, that's not going to change.
Now I'll say this. And this kind of scares me because that final clue scares me for one reason. I'll tell you in a sec, but let's just reset the clues real quick. We have the running back / multiples.
Yep.
We have wide receiver / tight ends. They're not going to eliminate someone primarily in the slots. We have clue number 3, Longhorn players. He loves Longhorns. So that's number 3.
Downgrade position change players.
Position change players have been downgraded.
Small school guys, you're out of here. Okay. Big success against big school guys, upgraded.
Number 6.
Need.
This scares me because, and I'm hoping, because when we left the Caserio press conference, as we turned left and we went towards the parking lot, I saw D'Amico Ryans walking towards me. And I just hope that he was in a closet somewhere and did not hear Nick Caserio say this draft for need thing, because it made me think that D'Amico Ryans might get his wish and they might go all defense with that philosophy. So I'm hoping that D'Amico wasn't listening to that press conference, and I'm hoping that D'Amico did not read the transcript that they sent out, and I'm hoping that Caserio does not repeat that around D'Amico.
I got a hunch they'll get a defender somewhere. So I would say, I wouldn't always do it, but it's okay to ignore need once or twice. Would be the way I would phrase that. We'll get to the mock draft here in just a second. Wags with one more super chat. He says, with current depth, if you draft Kelvin Banks from Texas, is he your tackle?
Maybe in the future.
I would think he plays guard in 25 and tackle in 26. That's how I would do it.
Maybe in the future. Or he's just so great at guard that you never even care.
Sure. Maybe he comes in and he's one of the best guards in football, and you just
Zach Martin was the example that was used.
Yep.
That was brought up yesterday by Harris is, he was a tackle. He ended up being one of the best guards the Cowboys have ever had. And I actually do see a few similarities in it because, he went 16th. I don't think in a redraft, Zach Martin goes 16th. But I would think, the uncertainty, and there was dialogue about, is he an inside guy or an outside guy, despite how good he was at both. And he actually, like in emergency situations, ended up playing some tackle there. So that's a one-of-one type of guy. It's kind of like how when Caserio, and I was glad he did this because Bill O'Brien didn't do it like when he would make these Patriot, but he did when he brought up Gronk, goes, yeah, we're talking about the best of all time. So yeah. Obviously that's
And I have one funny one before we get to the mock draft with the Caserio clues. Jacob says, after watching the Caserio presser, it made me wonder how he tells his wife he forgot to put the trash out. And how many times does he have to say it's a fluid situation?
Nick. Let me say this. Speaking of that, first time I've ever forgotten to take out the trash today.
Oh, no.
So it was embarrassing, too, because they were clowning me next door, the dudes that were working on the house next door. So Normally I get up in the morning and it's the first thing I do, or I'll do it at night. But I said I was going to do it in the morning, but my wife had like a doctor's appointment. So she went to her doctor's appointment at like 8:30. Avery's been waking up earlier, so she was actually already awake. So we got her breakfast and we chilled. And for some reason, Avery was just being like extra cuddly today. Like she wanted to cuddle and watch like Miss Rachel or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So we watched it for like 2 hours and she was like learning and doing all the stuff. And then all of a sudden I hear the damn trash and I run outside. I grab the trash can. I'm running outside with the full trash can. I don't even try to drag it. I'm carrying it. And they're already like out there at like exiting like 4 houses down because the neighbor's out of town. So their trash wasn't out. So there was no slowdown. I was actually going to go to the houses over, but they were gone. And then the dudes working next door were just laughing.
That's
pretty
funny.
embarrassing. Yeah, it's tough.
That's funny. Because Caserio, he'd have 10,000 words to explain what happened.
I don't think Caserio forgets to take the trash out.
I got a hunch that guy checks all the boxes on the to-do list every single day.
Yeah, I don't think he ever forgets.
Wags with the super chat. Who's our small school draft hits besides Tank? That's the only small school guy they've drafted. Nick Caserio has.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean,
Eric Kid says he needs the ring cam footage. I'll check. If it's there, it's there. But it come
that
from
would
the
be
side.
funny.
But yeah, everybody find it.
Carrying the trash can.
Yeah, I get it for sure. I'll check. I'll see if we can peep the scene on that.
Okay, let's get to the Caserio Clues mock draft. I got the mock draft machine fired up here. He did hint that he'd, if we pick at 25, we pick at 25. If not, we'll be ready to pick.
You think we're going to get a good player? Yeah, even on Saturday, we're going to get a good player.
Yeah. So if there was, a good trade, I think we could be able to. Okay, mock drafts. Come on, mock drafts. All right, so the mock draft machine starts to roll on. It evened out a little bit here after a weird start. Okay, 25. Still some very good players available. There goes Golden. There goes Walter Nolan. Got to have a Walter Nolan conversation before this thing wraps up. Okay, here we are, Landry. Some of the players that are on the board. Luther Burden.
Okay.
Amarion Hampton. If he, I mean, people are saying he's not getting past Denver, but if he did, Colston Loveland, Gray Zabel, you're out. Small school guy. Can't do that. Josh Connerly. Probably a little early for some of these other guys here on this list. But
see, if we're going with the Caserio clues, I think you can knock out a number of clues with one guy.
And who is that?
We're talking about a guy that can line up wide. He damn sure can line up wide and catch the ball. He's definitely, arguably the best player on the board. And it might not be a need, but he is there. So
big school guy.
Big school guy. You got that? I think Colston Loveland might be the one if we're going off of the clues.
Off the Caserio clues. Okay, let's just take a look and see if there's any. Let's just see who wants to come back. Okay, the Tennessee Titans want a shot at this at 35. And then the Steelers at 83. Well, they don't have a lot, so they're gonna have to end up just giving us 35, and then
no thanks.
They don't have.
No
they
thanks.
pick 135, and then they're not picking again until the end of the third. So
no thanks.
We're drafting a player here. You say Colston Loveland. I mean,
I think so. I don't think it's hard to argue.
Versatile player, can help you in line, but catch passes, not a need. Big school, success against big programs. Let's do it. Colston Loveland. Okay. You might not get your running back that you want.
And you might not get your receiver, but he's basically a receiver.
And Marion Hampton to the Lions. That's crazy.
Wow.
See you later, David Montgomery.
There goes Higgins. There goes Watts. Eamon Worry.
Eamon Worry slipping a little bit. Donovan Jackson. See you later. Scadaboo.
Oh, geez, Denver.
There goes Roy.
We already got our tight end there.
We already got a tight end.
Restrepo gone. Dang.
Restrepo gone way earlier than most expect him to go. Okay, so again, our clues were running back / backs. Not eliminating slot guys, players that went to the University of Texas, downgrade position change players. Don't have to worry about need. There's a running back for us right there. There's another running back for us right there. I think you got to go running back here, right here, especially if you're trying to get 2. And you got your choice. You got your pick of the litter here.
My God. So we got with 58, you got a pick of Sampson, Henderson, and Judkins.
What more could you ask for, Landry? These are your guys.
Pick a Buckeye, pick a Buckeye, pick a Buckeye, pick a Buckeye.
Big school guy with success against other big schools. I feel like the way that they kind of leaned on Judkins in the playoff, along with all his success in the SEC at Ole Miss.
I would take Judkins. You can make the case for Henderson. I'll let you pull the trigger here. I am a Judkins guy. I do really, really like the way Travion would complement Mixon. I just don't know if once Mixon leaves, and that could be this time next year, we're not talking about Joe Mixon. I think Judkins can complement Mixon too. And I think you can find someone else that can give you kind of a home run threat a little later on that might fall under some of our clues.
I'm going Judkins, and here's why I say I'm going Judkins. Especially for where the Texans are. He helps Mixon in 2025, and then he is more likely to be a number 1 running back by himself than Henderson is. Henderson's got an injury history that's popped up. They brought in Judkins to help take a workload off of Henderson. I just want somebody that can be bell cow guy after Joe Mixon's gone. Quinshon Judkins it is.
There you go. Stone on the super chat. Shout out to our guy Stone. I hope to see you on Saturday, 2 Saturdays from today at Karbach. 11 a.m. for the party. I can't wait to see how this draft plays out. Salute to S&L and the chat. Salute to you, mi amigo. I'm telling you right now, we got Loveland, we got Judkins. This is an exciting draft. The Jersey Shop is happy. The Jersey Shop is happy.
The Jersey Shop is happy.
The Jersey Shop is happy.
There's already some draft graders.
Oh,
There's already some draft graders that have already pulled out the red pen and started to put an F because no offensive linemen have been drafted yet. But let's just keep looking. Whoa! Andrew Makuba, Texas, not a need, fits 2 clues.
as I said, I think he is going to end up being one of the better safeties in this draft. I actually think he could end up being what they like about Jalen Petrie. The problem is they did lock up Jalen Petrie.
Yep.
Makuba, I told you that Vosh Lombardi has him as his 19th overall player. Brian Broaddus, I talked to him the other day, Super Bowl winning scout. Former co-host with Damon Brugler, kind of one of the faces of this media scout stuff. He said that he's a top 45 player. We're drafting at 79. You're talking about a top 45 player at safety. I do think, though, they've kind of pigeonholed themselves with Jalen Petrie. So I am willing to dismiss that.
Okay. So no Royals, small school guy, can't do it.
You don't think you're just dismissing the guy at the top?
Oluwafemi Oladejo?
I'm just saying, D'Amico, best player available. You can move him inside, outside.
I know what the ranking says. This is not where Oladejo is going to go.
Okay.
So no Royals. You laid out Makuba. Kyle Williams, small school guy.
Oh, cool. Sorry.
Can't do that. Obviously, Tate Ratledge, a fan favorite. He checks all the boxes. Swarmy, success against big time top competition, played a lot, was a captain. Georgia. Like he checks a lot of boxes. Then there's Jalen Knoll,
who's a slot guy, but you can't pigeonhole him. I would say that you got to take Ratledge.
Okay. So Ratledge.
Wouldn't that fit everything?
Save that soundbite, folks. Save that soundbite. It's not often that you can get Landry to admit they need a guard.
Shut up.
You don't have to twist my arm to draft Tate Ratledge. So
Shut up.
the mighty mullet is headed to Houston.
Can we get some more picks? Can we get a 4th-round pick? Because that's another thing Caserio said. He talked about not having a 4th-round pick. Can we get a trade and get a 4th-round pick, please?
Well, here you go. The Baltimore Ravens would like to move back up or move up into our spot, and so would the New York Football Giants.
What do the Ravens want to give? Like a 6th or something?
The Ravens have a tremendous amount of picks in this draft. They have
All right,
11 picks.
Let's try to get 91.
Okay, so we give up 89. They give us 91.
And 129. Let's see if they're willing. See how much they like this guy.
Jeez, they don't like him that much. They want
Okay, we'll see.
19% chance to be accepted. Let's give it a shot. Okay.
All right, then do a swap. Give them a 5th.
Okay. So throw them the Buffalo pick.
Yeah.
I wonder if I could throw them that.
Right.
Moves it up to 30%. You want to see what the Giants have to offer?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see if we can get the Giants in here. All right, so the Giants trying to get that 4th-round pick, 99 and 105. I mean, 99 and 105
If they do it.
for 89 and 166.
Yeah, offer it.
Okay, we got it. We got our 4th
There
round
you
pick.
go. We got our 4th-rounder. There you go, Caserio. A bonus clue for you here.
Man, they make this drafting thing seem so hard.
Show the people the draft real quick. Show them what we got here with the Caserio clues. I'm kind of liking these Caserio croutons.
So the Caserio clues
This
let
is
us.
a good one. This is a good one.
I mean, we're satisfying a lot of things here. You're getting offensive linemen for the people that need blocking. You're getting a running back for the people that want to see an investment in the running back. You're getting just a potential superstar at a position in Colston Loveland. And, we arrive here because Colston Loveland, not a need guy, versatile tight end. Running back conversation, they're going to invest in the position. And then Ratledge checks about 15 boxes. So what are the Giants picking with this trade up here? Let's get the draft rolling again.
See what they love so much. Oh, okay. They love the running back. There goes Cameron Williams, John Harris's favorite prospect.
All right, there goes some of the other players here.
Here we are.
Okay, so now still in the 3rd round, we're in the compensation portion of the 3rd round. Couple of different things. Okay, so Louisville, Gelati here.
Small school.
Louisville's not a small school. Louisville's ACC, baby.
Come on. Okay.
Louisville's ACC.
I guess. All right. If
you trying to drop small school in Louisville?
Pretty much.
School,
there's a reason Miami got left out.
The school that produced Lamar Jackson, small school. Obviously, can't go Charles Grant, William and Mary about as small as they go. Already have a running back, so not going Damian Martinez. You don't like Gelati, even though it fits the not a need. And
take Gelati. You want him?
Just a really good pass rusher.
Take him
for this late, and pass rush win rate at college really good. So now we get into the 4th round. D'Amico, you can let him out of the broom closet here. Okay,
that's D'Amico. There you go. You got your defense.
We still need a wide receiver.
Kinda. You got Loveland. Check the wide receiver. We're not drafting for need though, sir.
Yeah, no, that's true. All right, so it's small school. Tesla probably can wait on him. Small school. Isaiah Bond's got some issues. I like Ty Felton. I like Pat Bryant.
We can wait on these guys.
Probably a little early for those guys. Now, remember, if we don't make a move here, this is the last selection the Texans have until the 7th round.
All right, check the
trades.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. 116 with the Dolphins.
Yeah, let's just do that. Let's just get another pick.
Okay, so 116. Let's see if they throw us 135.
Yeah, we're in that time where people are just throwing stuff away. Mike McDaniel's probably high too.
Oh, screw you, Miami. Screw you. All right, well, okay, we'll take 119 from Cincinnati. 119, 153. Can we keep that 7th? Yeah, we can. Okay, the 7th means nothing to them. All right. So we moved back here a few spots. Let some things click off the board. We did pick up that 6th rounder there, 153. Or 5th rounder, excuse me. 5th rounder, 6th rounder, 5th rounder. 120, I believe, is where they got Cade Stover last year.
Otis Hill says no receiver makes no sense unless you have the best pass catcher available in Colson Loveland. That's kind of the situation where it fell through. Is he can do those types of things.
Well, if you were looking for a compliment back, could do a whole lot worse than Jaden Blue.
Yeah, let's take Jaden Blue. We don't have any Longhorns. We know they like Longhorns.
There we go. He
We
checks.
also know multiple running backs. So there you go. That checks off the full box of the multiple running backs.
So multiple running backs. We've gotten a Texas player. All right, so we're going through the Caserio clues here, and really feel like we're doing a really good job.
Yeah, I like these clues.
This is the draft.
Nick.
Colston Loveland in the 1st, Quinshawn Judkins in the 2nd, Tate Ratledge in the 3rd, able to move back a couple of times, pick up some extra picks. Ashton Gelati from Louisville in the 3rd, and then Jaden Blue there in the 4th, getting our multiple running backs and satisfying.
I could not imagine looking at this draft and saying, "Man, they didn't draft a receiver." Like if it went this way, I couldn't imagine living in that world.
All
This
right,
this is almost too good to be true.
let's get on to 153. All right, so really what we're looking for here is if we see somebody that just kind of jumps off the page for us at a certain position or two. Ty Felton from Maryland would be a fun one. Very fast, super productive. Let's look at some of these defensive players. Jackson and Robinson are intriguing interior defensive linemen. Robinson's got a little interior, exterior flex. RJ Mickens, his dad played in the league for like 11 years.
McDapple said Blue just fumbled the phone when you tried to tell him you drafted him. That's a good one. And also very true, especially if you try to run in between the tackles. But yes, very true. That's a good one.
Man, none of these. I mean, I'd be fine. You know, we're based on the average draft position where they are. I'd be fine taking one of these speedy wide receivers in Thornton or Ty Felton. But again, you don't have to go need. I'm just giving you the options there at wide receiver.
Okay. I mean, I'll let you have this pick, sir.
I like what Felton brought to the table. Big Ten's leading receiver, which doesn't always mean a lot, but you know, let's go Felton.
Okay.
And now we could just maybe a Majors pick here in the 7th to get another Texas player and / offensive lineman. You could go a variety of different ways here in the 7th round. Got a little bit of a wait till the Texans are on. Again, this is the draft up to this point.
Yeah, this is the nerd time.
Colston Loveland, Quinshawn Judkins, Tate Ratledge, Ashton Gelati, Jaden Blue, and I promise you, if they draft Jaden Blue, I'll make the Jaden Blue. I'll make it a song.
I'm looking for Jake Majors. I bet he goes before.
And Ty Felton. So let's see what's
Jake Majors got to be gone.
There goes Thornton. There goes Dylan Fairchild. Probably a lot later than most expect Fairchild to go. That's the left guard version of Tate Ratledge. He played left guard for those years while Ratledge was the right guard. There's the other Maryland receiver, Prather. He's got a little juice to his game. Oh, gosh. Dyke was really good.
There he is. There's Majors. Bye-bye.
Dang. There goes Ty Robinson, too. Dang it.
Jake Majors. Bye-bye.
Oh, man. Well, hey, the clues can only lead us so far. We did some good moving around here to make this happen. Boy, that just dumped those 7th rounders at this point. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay. Anything and everything. UTSA cornerback off the board because of okay. Can I make an argument for Jalen Travis here?
Go ahead.
Big offensive lineman, 6'8", almost 350 pounds. They've got one of the most successful late round big offensive linemen in the building now. And that was a guy that Cole Popovich and Nick Caserio saw get coached up right in front of him, Trent Brown. You got Trent Brown in the building. Travis needs a year of kind of just seasoning. Hey, follow Trent Brown around for a year. Figure
What
out
if
how to
Trent
play.
Brown's washed?
Trent Brown doesn't have to play to teach Jalen Travis.
All right, take him. Go with it.
All right, big fella from Iowa State.
Project. Give me a project pick. Give me a doot.
Right back on the board. Anything jumping
One
off
that is
board.
big as.
Anything. You got a position you really want? D'Amico with a Georgia linebacker. I mean, come on. Georgia linebacker. UCF corner / safety. Mac McWilliams. You don't care.
Give him a
There's
corner.
7 rounders. Okay.
Give him a
there we go.
corner. They need a corner.
Mac McWilliams could do the other half of the slot job that Petrie doesn't do well, which is cover. And he's not afraid to stick his nose in there. So that's the draft. We'll get our full board here in a second. I feel like we've done a really good job here.
Yeah, I think it was, based on the clues, I think it was well executed. Could do a lot worse. Do a lot worse in the draft. Hurts not getting Jake Major, but
All right, this is the full draft here. Colston Loveland in the first round.
it was a C grade.
That's a terrible grade by Pro Football Focus.
Judkins was a C. At 58, Judkins was a C.
Terrible
Ratledge
grade
was
by
an
Pro
A.
Football Focus. Ratledge, good job. We moved back. Gelati is C+. They like the late round guys. Jaden Blue in the 4th. Ty Felton in the 5th. And then a couple of project players, Jalen Travis and Mac McWilliams in the 7th round.
So yeah, you're still a little concerned at wide receiver and O-line, really, if we're being honest. But you got a couple skill guys, and you probably got your tight end of the future in Colston Loveland. So, bada bing, bada boom.
You are a better pass catching team at the end of this draft than you were going in.
Hard to be worse. Hard to be worse.
But you added 2 things that you just did not have on the team, which is, real take the top off speed with Felton. And he's got a very clear role is what he's going to do. He's not doing everything for you. And then just a super high end, reliable tight end in Colston Loveland. It's a good job by us. That's a very good. I'm going to.
Now give it to Nick. Nick gets the credit. Shout out to Nick.
Nick.
He gets the cred.
I think Nick Caserio can make this work. I mean,
he'll figure it out, and they'll probably still sign a receiver. I would say they'll still sign a wide out.
You know what I really like too about this 4th and 5th rounders? They're fast. The Texans
they need speed.
The Texans have had a slow team for years.
They need speed.
Like they are slow at so many important places, and to have a really fast running back, Blue could hit you a home run. You throw him a swing pass, see you later, and then Felton get behind the defense and just kind of. They didn't have any deep speed last year, and so those safeties just sat there and made C.J. Stroud's life hell along with that offensive line issue. And pound the rock a little bit better, protect Stroud a little bit better with Ratledge. There you go.
There you go. The Nick Clue draft here on S&L.
Might be one of our better mock drafts up to this point.
Maybe we just needed a little of that Nick sprinkle.
Yeah, the Caserio clues.
Yeah, that was what that was and what he gave us. So,
of course, with his luck, Ratledge will be terrible at football. Gelati will probably be a rotational player forever, and Felton won't make the team with the luck that Caserio's had with some of these spots and places that he's made draft picks.
He's been good though.
Yeah, he is. He has
good enough-ish.
He has been good.
Mistakes in the past. I'm not going to ask you about those mistakes. I'm just going to ask you.
Oh, you guys fucking talk about them all the time. So.
Yes, we do.
We do.
Yeah. Hello, what's up? Head nod.
And then he did the little eye cut to Landry. Just
it happens.
All right, so good job. This is a. I feel like I've got a lot done here on this Thursday. We were able to fix the Houston Texans.
Well, We were able to improve the Houston Texans.
All right.
Fix. But yeah, there was definitely a
when 15 years from now, when the draft is in Atlanta and they're letting Tate Ratledge, after his 13-year career for the Texans, announce a draft pick, we'll think back and remember this moment.
Yeah, we will. And I think Tate Ratledge is one of those guys that just seems to make a lot of sense for them.
Yep.
Based on the concerns. So there's some guys that just seem like they make a lot of sense. Tate Ratledge and Jake Majors. Those would be my two guys. They just really make a lot of sense.
I just feel like they'd love. I mean, I don't know that anybody's. There's probably not very many offensive linemen that have played more football than Jake Majors in this upcoming draft. 47 starts out of 48 games in college.
The other thing is that, first of all, he's not going early. So there's that. Second of all, we already know what they've done to the offensive line. And I'm actually going to get on this tonight on the night stream. I actually just kind of thought about it. I think there's a big clue that we kind of missed too. And it's understandable that we missed the clue because it feels like Nick's kind of overcompensating, which I feel like a lot of guys who don't like to put a lot of information out there, I think sometimes they'll overcompensate. And I think when Nick comes out and says that the offensive line, there's no wholesale changes. First of all, it's bullshit. Like, there's nothing more wholesale than about what y'all did on the offensive line. Like, y'all literally got rid of everybody at every level, from coaching to players. So it's extremely wholesale. And it makes me wonder if maybe he's just trying to, not put too much pressure on a potential offensive lineman that's drafted early, because he doesn't want the guy to come in with a lot of pressure and being the face of overhaul on the offensive line.
True.
And then B, if he's just saying this because he doesn't want you to know that they're wholesaling and completely revamping the offensive line. So as great as that draft was tonight, I'm going to lay out the case that maybe by not saying anything and overcompensating, perhaps Nick Caserio said a little bit too much. That's at 10:30 in the locker room.
By not saying
for that,
by not saying anything, he said everything. Coming at 10:30.
To go back to the Majors thing, the thing that I think that Majors has going for him is he clearly has a fascination with what the array of talent. I won't say what Sark's doing. I think NIL and all that has as much to do with the increased talent as what Sark's doing. He's doing fine, but I mean, I think it kind of talent's going to be there no matter what, but he's done an okay job with it. But he clearly has a lot of appreciation for this group of Texas talent. I think it's fair to say he said 500 players are going to be drafted from there.
Mm-hmm.
The leader of all those guys is Jake Majors. Like, that's not really a question. Like, that's one, everybody knows that. Like, even like the blue chippers, like the Bankses and the Williams, like both of those guys were blue chip offensive linemen. He was just a 3-star that was there, but everybody knows it's, if you watch Texas, you heard the story 100 times. If you listen to people, I know Vogel has said it. Like, I think BK mentions it. Like, everybody knows it. Rod Babers, like everybody who covers the Tex said Golden. They all say that Jake Majors was the leader of that team. It's not like a mystery or anything like that. So if you need offensive line help, if center play has been bad, if your actions show that you're kind of revamping the offensive line, the leader of that array of talent that you like is probably going to impress you a little bit. Like, it's probably going to matter, especially when you're talking about a guy who's not going to go, we're not talking about Tyler Linderbaum or anything like that. We're not talking about a guy that's going to go like Nick Martin, like in the top 2 rounds. I know that's your favorite Texan of all time. You still got the customized jersey, but
you just make up heinous lies about me. I can't stand for it.
But yeah, that's I think it's obvious that they're going to like Jake Majors, and they visited with him. So yeah, I mean, but yeah, like if you are impressed by that talent, don't you think like if you go into a prison and you're like, man, there's a bunch of bad mother effers here. Like, don't you look to the guy that's like leading the leader of the badasses?
Yeah. As much as it's go beat up the biggest guy, you got to beat up the leader.
Exactly. So, yeah, I think it's there. Oh, yeah, it was a Max Sharping jersey. Thank you very much, Houston. It was Max Sharping. It was not Nick Martin.
No,
that was Cody's customers.
No, you can talk. You can talk. You can.
My bad. I mixed them up. I mixed up my spare lineman. That's on me. My bad. My bad.
You can talk to all those other people who cover the Texans in this town that act like Brian Gaine knew what the hell he was doing when he clearly didn't. And I was never a Max Sharping guy.
I must Paneline says she doesn't plan on going to prison. That's a very good plan. I like that. Is Sinner a problem or was it the scheme? Maybe both. Maybe both. Here's the speaking of the prison thing. So I always think this.
Okay.
Meeting the baddest mofo at the prison. I think it's
you do like what is it? Love After Lockup?
a favorite show.
Yeah, you do. You're a big fan of that.
Yeah, big fan. But
before I have one Texas thing before you get to your new prison analogy.
It's not an analogy.
Before you get to your new prison conversation. So I've looked through a lot of these top guards and where do they rank on Pro Football Focus for pass blocking? Because remember, D'Amico Ryans, when he was asked about offensive linemen, he said, "Hey, I like guys that can pass block." And like Booker's 9th in the nation last year, pass blocking, Pro Football Focus. Number 4, late, just kind of throw the dart. Let's see. Texas guard Hayden Conner.
He's from Houston. He's another one of those guys that started a lot of games. Yeah, he's from Houston. They have interior options.
I would keep Hayden Conner in the back of your mind just because of his success pass blocking last year.
From
the
here,
amount of football he's played. He went to Texas. They love local guys.
Where'd he go?
Checking.
He went somewhere in Houston. I'm pretty positive.
Oh man, I was looking at this the other day.
He's not. He didn't go to one of the Kleins. Did he?
No, Katie Taylor.
Okay, Katie. Yeah, one of the Katie schools.
Yeah, Katie Taylor. It's not one of the Kleins. It's one of the Katie's. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
Katie
one
Taylor.
of the K's.
Yeah, and he's a big SOB too. 6'5", 320.
Yeah, there's options at Texas. I mean, it's 4 offensive linemen. I mean,
have fun replacing all. I mean, he's got options. But have fun replacing all that, Sark.
Yeah, that's going to be tough. But we're talking about interior offensive linemen. We're talking about prisons. So I remember one of my dogs. He was actually the first person to call me when I had my daughter. It was so random. Nate Newton called me and just to congratulate me. I hadn't talked to him in a long time. We used to do a show together. He's my boy, Nate Newton. I know a lot of y'all just know him for the weed thing, like getting busted for weed twice. He said the only reason he did it a second time was to make up for the money he lost the first time. So be easy. But one of the better guards of the 90s, I used to do a show with him. And one time, when Adrian Peterson, the controversy was going on, you remember the Rusty Harden, hitting the kid with the switch, controversy with AP?
Yep.
Nate told me, he was like, "Hey, we're going to have Nelson on the show." And I was like, "Who the F is Nelson? Who are you talking about?" And he's like, "Nelson Peterson." I'm like, who is that? He's like, "Adrian Peterson's dad." I'm like, "Oh, the guy they always showed on TV, when he was at OU,
Well, go on. I think I know where this is going.
That was on TV. And he's like, yeah, Nelson Peterson. I was like, okay, cool. So we have Nelson Peterson on, and Nelson Peterson's kind of defending his son and stuff, which is kind of funny, but he's defending him. And he calls out Chris Carter, and he says, Chris Carter, when he called out Adrian, and it was pretty dramatic on ESPN. Remember the Chris Carter, "My mama was wrong" when she used to beat me up. Remember that Chris Carter? It's one of the funnier rants. He's like, "Man, they need to put Chris Carter in Django too, because that's how dramatic he was, blah, blah, blah." So I was just sitting there. So finally I was like, "So how do you guys even know each other? What is that?" And Nate said that whenever he went to prison for the weed, he went in the yard and he saw a guy that was basically the baddest mofo there, that was basically bossing everyone around, that looked like the head guy. and it was him. So they ended up making friends in prison because Peterson's dad was like the top honcho and the top dog.
So I was thinking to myself, I was like, I'm pretty sure Adrian Peterson's dad was in prison.
Yes.
Because Ed Orgeron always tells the story about recruiting Adrian Peterson. And he always says Adrian Peterson wanted to go somewhere closer to home because he knew his dad could watch his games. And Ed Orgeron was like, your dad can watch USC games. They're on TV every week. And he's like, no, dad's in jail. And then Ed Orgeron always tells the story about, he's like, I tried to get his dad transferred to a prison in California so he could watch Adrian
and he
Peterson.
said it with a straight face too, like he was really serious about it. But
as you were telling that story, I was like, I'm pretty sure Nelson Peterson was in jail.
Yeah, he said he was the baddest dude, and he just went up and introduced himself. And I was like, damn, Nate, that's probably pretty smart of you, but it's a funny story.
Three-time Super Bowl champion, 2-time All-Pro, 1-time smart guy in the yard.
6-time Pro Bowler. Very good.
Yep.
Pretty good player he was. Big dude. Not anymore, though. Very skinny. Just had 2 knee replacements.
Here's a strange career highlight you don't always see on people's highlight things. USFL all-time team.
Yep. Before he came to Dallas. Yep.
The Tampa Bay Bandits. Huh.
Yep.
All right.
But anyway.
There you go.
Appreciate y'all for coming through. Come for the Nick Caserio clues and the mock drafts. And then you just get a little bit of prison stories sprinkled in. So much appreciation. Patrick says, yeah, the analogy that sucked by Cody. Yep, 29 Bluebell flavors at the store. You acted like there was none. There is tons. They have everything now. And they do. Sometimes they do too much. Why was I'm assuming, and maybe this had to do with like my colonoscopy, like where they had to take some stuff out and it ended up being okay. But I'm assuming, and I didn't even want to do the research because we've moved past this, but I'm assuming caramel pecan fudge was very high up on that list of flavors that was making people sick with Bluebell because it hasn't been around since about that time. And that was easily my go-to. I'm assuming that was one of the flavors that got put out because I haven't seen it in a long time.
Maybe. Yeah. I would think so. Would you, how about some fun Bluebell trivia for you to let the folks go on this one?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm going to suck at this.
There is a restaurant in town, Old School Steakhouse, Taste of Texas. People know it.
Yeah, right down the street.
They are the exclusive home of Bluebell cinnamon ice cream.
What?
It is not commercially available anywhere else, but Taste of Texas has their own Bluebell ice cream. It is Bluebell cinnamon ice cream that they serve to people.
I didn't know this, and I haven't even ever gone to Taste of Texas, even though it's right there. I was going to, and then it was like, we don't want to take.
Man,
I heard their salad bar is what's up, though. I heard that
for a guy that loves a salad bar, you got to go to Taste of Texas.
So the salad bar by itself is like $25, $30, which some people would be scared of. But for me, that's like, damn, the Jason's Deli one's up to like 14. If y'all are bringing it like that and it's at Taste of Texas, then I am betting that salad bar has some like salad, like some potato salad, some macaroni salad, like they got all the fixings, all that.
And they got like 3, 4, 5 different kinds of bread for you. You got like some jalapeno cornbread. They got some cheesy bread rolls. Like Taste of Texas, they do a good job. Old School. Not many places do it like they do. See, EJ knows that cinnamon ice cream is so good.
Never had it.
I'm not even a big cinnamon fan, but I'd try it just for the exclusivity factor that you can only get it there.
Damn, I like this. Quinchon pumpkins, Bluebell. In all seriousness, like if Halloween comes around, they got to have Quinchon pumpkins. That's got to be like a bit. I'm really going to throw this at the PR.
Oh, yeah, that'd be.
And they'll run with it. Quinchon pumpkins.
Quinchon pumpkins.
Yeah, good call. All right.
I'm sure the social team with some of the stuff they dig up on these guys, like photos of them as kids and stuff. They can do some fun stuff with Quinshawn pumpkins. That's good. I like that.
All right. Appreciate everyone for coming through. Subscribe, like, ride along. Always remember when it comes to this Texan stuff, we're all in it together.
Eat good, especially if you're having exclusive Taste of Texas only cinnamon ice cream. Sleep good, be good. We'll talk Texans again soon. Thanks for watching, everybody.